Gearbox and 2K. Those names mean things to me, but I don't remember what they are. Andy Samberg. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Is this a game? Wonderlands. Oh. Wait. Fantasy Borderlands. I will take that. S&K? Wait. Metal Slug Tactical RPG? I don't know if that's what Metal Slug needed to be, but it's not a bad idea. Oh, it looks so classic SNK. Oh, environmental damage too. Nice. Metal Slug Tactics. For what is it just?
Well, it's funny you should say that. Yes, you could say yes, I do. If you don't mind.
Smooth.
I've got something here. I'm gonna
Can't
read
tell
it.
if he's being
This, there's a
deliberately
little bit of a
awkward
talk
or if
about
he's
this.
just
I'm gonna read
awkward.
some toy.
Is this a proper Jurassic Park game? Oh my gosh.
You weren't careful.
It's a Jurassic
And
Park
now,
game.
Here we are.
Wait, is it the idea that it's dinosaurs have taken over?
This is a very different world.
Okay, it's Jurassic World. I don't know how I feel about that. That's actually not the worst scenario for a video game movie.
It's many of us.
But together,
We will tame.
Oh, cool. Adding co-op to Dalton Sanctuary. Stranger Things Rapid Smite? That's actually pretty weirdly cool. That's multiple characters. Interesting. Also, I have spent way too much time and brain power on Smash Brothers DLC speculation to diss any companies that are actually willing to pull a crossover. But who seriously looked at Stranger Things and thought, Smite? Is this multiple games together? Like a company's sizzle reel? Because I don't think these things all mesh well together. Painkiller. I'm not really into or familiar with the Vampire Masquerade verse, but this looks like a really big deal for that fan base.
Swallowed by the void.
House of Ashes looks like peak horror. I don't even enjoy horror media, but between the narration and the atmosphere, it's something I'm excited exists, if only for fans of that genre to enjoy it.
My realm. This is Tenant's realm and it's ours, understand?
Yep, that sure is a Tales game. Excuse me? Not only is there going to be a Little Prince game, but it's going to be made by that game company? That's amazing. I realize Paladins isn't as successful as Overwatch or even in my wheelhouse of games, and this crossover feels more meaningful than the Rocket League one, but like, am I supposed to know who these people are? Weezer playing for a short intermission was fun enough for me personally, but this is definitely one of those E3 moments where you wonder what this has to do with video games.
But this guy loves his country. He wants to empower you, Keely. He wants to
Moff
empower
Gideon
you.
is clearly the most compelling antagonist of a Far Cry game since Vaz. Yay! Tunic's back! Oh, snap. We're finally getting it. It's finally happening.
Guided by grace.
Werewolf form. Summon horses, magic sword. We're getting some of the stuff I'd like to see more of in Souls. That's a Durgan. That's a big old Durgan. Elden Ring is hype, and if nothing else happens this E3, we've still got an amazing game to look forward to. When the trailer for Rainbow Six began, I was rolling my eyes. However, after seeing it in action, it looks like playing StarCraft from the perspective of the Marines fighting the Zerg. That feels so absolutely ridiculous for Rainbow Six's down-to-earth, hardcore tactical action, but it also sounds like a really cool spin-off. Riders Republic looks even more hype than Steep did on its initial reveal, with a ridiculously colorful aesthetic, while keeping that insane scale. Anybody else think it's hilarious they opened with a fantastical sci-fi Rainbow Six and backpedaled halfway through their showcase to talk about gritty realism Rainbow Six? Thunder Purge showcase was neat though. Why is the announcement of TMNT and Brawlhalla relegated to a sizzle reel? This is the kind of info that pushes people over the edge for your game, Ubisoft. It's a testament to how out of the loop with the music industry I am, that the Just Dance reveal is when I first hear the song with the Just Dance reveal. Like, this is probably a #1 top of the list thing, and I haven't heard it till now. No Just Dance on Wii? It's the end of an era. And to top it off, no Just Dance crew. I've long since decided that Assassin's Creed isn't for me, and Ubisoft corporate management is almost an EA leagues of sketchiness. But considering how much heart these dev teams put into recreating historical landscapes, it's really for the best that they keep updating game worlds already released, instead of constantly moving on to the next setting every year. Well, that was pretty intense. Also, the villains really are the best part of this series, so yeah, let's go nuts with an expansion that lets you play as them. It's happening. It's really happening. Wait, so they're in space, so not Wario, we're doing... okay, we're just doing basic Mario, adding Rosalina to it. Rabid Galaxy does give more opening for world exploration and combat scenarios. You know, that actually sounds like Rosalina. Like, if you accentuate her personality with a Rabid... Oh, come on, you gotta give me... If it's gonna keep going, you gotta give me someone else. That's not DK. Who is that? Okay, is that just Rabid Wukong? Oh, sweet new weapons? Oh, and it's 2022. That's, you know what, that's honestly fine. I have so many games to play this year. For those new to the party, Devolver Digital has leaned heavily into these amazing, overly dramatic presentations that do in fact lead up to game announcements, but for the most part, satirically roast the excesses of E3, the gaming industry, and modern consumerism in general. It's hilarious if you're even a little familiar with the gaming echo chamber, but if this randomly popped in your feed, and you aren't, it definitely comes off as unnecessarily crass. I'm not sure who felt Ghost of Tsushima needed to be 2D, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I don't know how interested I am in this personally, but a stunt-runner roguelite where progression is made easier through watching other people's phantoms in a much more explicitly cooperative way than Dark Souls is weirdly compelling. Okay. Crazy effect bullets, I like. Wizard with a gun. A multiplayer survival sandbox. Oh, wow. It's got that Don't Starve. Oh. It's got that Don't Starve aesthetic. and probably survival sensibility. Oh, this is one I might actually have to really look into. People who gave us Pony Island and the Hex. Okay, card base. Is this Oregon Trail the card game? Oh, it's like, Hand of Fate. But, like, you have to play games in this haunted cabin. Especially if you give them a narrative like, the card game thing is already a narrative bent enough. But if you, like, tie it into, like, the UI is actually part of the overworld hub. It's actually more like a hub world that you're solving puzzles in Resident Evil style. That just ups it up a whole notch. I don't know which is funnier. The fact that they made this joke about selling a single VHS recording of their direct, or the fact that it's real and someone really spent $1,000 real dollars on it. Let's see how they debut a full freaking car at a digital conference. Starfield 1122. I can already hear the casual gamers who are going to pick this up next year, not realizing how much it rivals Cyberpunk 2077 for glitchiness. And that's the optimistic take. This could end up worse than Fallout 76, but whatever, a release date's a release date. Before this conference, I don't believe I had ever heard of Stalker. And yet it's so popular in certain circles, there's a bunch of indie games shown at this E3 that, if not explicitly inspired by Stalker, clearly have similar ideas at their core. And while I can see why Death Stranding with a setting and gameplay more reminiscent of Metro than Delivery Simulator 2020 would appeal to people, it's still kind of crazy to me. Like, how many single A or indie games generate this passionate of a cult following? Sea of Thieves, getting some updates? What do you got for us? Rare. Oh, please tell me this is not the only thing they've been working on. Like, I respect that this game has gotten progressively better, but it's not.
From beyond the horizon.
I don't want this to be the only thing good they've worked on. They need to come back from where they once were.
Stop this ruin. Trapped for all forever in the sea of
Oh,
now to save the pirate life.
Are they bringing?
Start by saving the life of one.
Oh my gosh, that's. I take it back. This is the best crossover, the best idea they could have had.
Captain Jack Sparrow. But I suspect you already knew that.
Ah, a new body at last.
All I can do is show you the way.
I thought they were just using her voice actress. I didn't realize.
It's nothing but cursed crews. Bloodthirsty mermaids.
This is one of those crossovers I didn't know I wanted.
Oh yes. And now, one Davy Jones. Hello! The Sea of Thieves, eh? Bring me that horizon.
Oh, it's an original story. Now you're making me want to play. Now you're making me want to play Sea of Thieves. Finally! Finally a gosh dang release date for it! If there's any game I just want to play. There wasn't even any new gameplay, although basically what I've seen, there isn't a lot of gameplay to talk about. It's much more about the story and the experience those 12 minutes to find the resolution. Oh, here we go. It's time.
Fear of humanity. I'm ready for anything.
Genius minds of Double Fine.
fate of the world. Can you do that?
Yes, if I can find some bacon.
I'm going to ignore that last part.
Well, I'm getting psyched. Oh, available August 25th. There's another game to pencil in. Wait. Is that an Xbox game? No. I don't have an Xbox. And my PC isn't fast enough to keep up with Raz's wit. I'm going to have to wait a good while before I can get to experience this. Bethesda games coming to Game Pass isn't remotely a surprise, but it is nice to have the lineup detailed. Look at them pretending Fallout 76 isn't a train wreck. Even without a paid audience to clap repeatedly, this portion of their conference goes beyond ordinary denial. It's like they brought the entire river from Egypt and dropped it on the studio.
It's a new world with new rules. Now, nothing is off the table. Winning this battle will take a new breed of fighter. Wait.
Oh my gosh, epic announcer! So is this Microsoft's answer to Fall Guys?
You should probably turn on a
I've known about phobia mode for months through Twitter, but the idea that this update exists is still hilarious, despite being a very appreciated quality of life feature. Oh yeah! The Suikoden team! The Suikoden team game. Wait, this is coming to Xbox? Oh, I like the more cartoony sensibilities they're inserting into... And more active cutscenes is definitely improvements on... Wait, what was that? I like that setup, but I don't know if there was positioning. No, there was positioning. And... Wait, what? Wow. They're doing not just the turn-based RPG, they're also doing an action side-scroller.
History is all around us. Those who made it have never been forgotten. Their daring choices.
Is this a Rise of... Or not Rise of... Is this a Total War game?
And mortals into legends.
Or is this an Age of Empires game?
What would you build?
Well, it definitely looks more like Age of Empires than Total War.
How would you fight? Where would you go?
Oh, there's the theme! It's in the background, I just heard it. So is this a new game, or is this another, HD remaster? Oh, nope, Age of Empires 4!
We begin by hearing an old,
This is Fable.
sounding voice. And we see
Yep, it's Fable.
peace. Now, say goodbye to it forever. Suddenly, and for no reason, people running.
Okay, maybe it's not Fable.
These pointless slow-motion shots make everything seem cool and should bolster pre-sale numbers.
Who hired Devolver Digital's marketing team?
Is the title.
Oh, wow. They may not have shown off a real-life car edit at this E3, but they sure talked about Forza for a good while. Those minigames and lag creations are the kind of thing that I'm a sucker for, so I guess I'll at least keep an eye on this one. Got to admit, I went into this E3 with a lot of delusions of grandeur about Nintendo partnerships and IP crossovers, but this is a much more grounded perspective on Microsoft's franchise acquisition. Considering where Microsoft was at the beginning of the Xbox One era, this diversifying of their portfolio is a massive improvement, and overall sells me on the Xbox brand in a way I haven't been interested in years. Especially now that I realize the difference between technically being able to play games on PC and practically being able to play them on PC.
That's a good one.
Do you think things will ever go back to normal?
Would you want
It's not a zombie thing, it's more of like paranormal investigators fighting cults and vampires. Guardians of the Galaxy as Mass Effect Lite with Kingdom Hearts drive forms actually sounds like a much better idea than trying to tackle the entire Avengers cast in one game, and this music is on point. What now? Oh, so they're finally doing it. That's cool. 1 through 6 on... Is this going on Switch? What is this going on? Steam and mobile. But no Switch! Still no first half of Final Fantasy on Switch. And True Colors looks like you took everything fun about Psychonauts and removed it in order to tell a down-to-earth or believable story. Whatever, not for me.
Shrine of Chaos.
Final Fantasy Origins looks fine, and I'm actually looking forward to it, but it has to be said that whatever this is, it isn't Final Fantasy. I don't know about anybody else, but I appreciate the YouTubers with a bigger budget sensibility that the whole PC conference is built on. The story arc and set pieces might be cliched and not nearly as well executed as Evolver Digital, but you can tell it's a conference put together by gamers for gamers. Is that the Hyper Light Drifter? No, it's... what is this? Looks like Hyper Light Drifter, but like side-scrolling. Then again, I may be fixating on the wrong aspects of the costume. That's actually a really cool idea. Judge Dredd as a Metroidvania. I don't know how many people remember War of the Monsters, but this looks like that was some quality of life improvements, which is a good thing. What am I even looking at? Is this a matchmaking game? It feels like a bit of a pace killer to talk about DLC that's been out for nearly a month, but this subgenre is so underrepresented, I get why PC people want to take a moment to gush about mech games. At first glance, Silt looks like another Playdead Studios style puzzle platformer, but between the swimming and the body jacking, there's potential for this game to break away from that mold. I don't know whether to be impressed or laugh at the idea that a game like EVE Online is getting an academy for new players at this stage in its life. So it's Pikmin. Yeah, someone definitely got tired of waiting for Nintendo to make Pikmin 4 and made their own. Buildy sandbox is a genre I've been looking out for long before Minecraft existed. But at this point, certain staples and restrictions have been accumulated in that genre. So to see one that appears to run on more realistic physics and more detailed construction that may buck some of those trends is refreshing. Harvest Moon on top of a dinosaur. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. DevBot Revenge. Intellivision are mad lads, revealing a console marketed to the casual consumer based on a platform of no loot boxes, which the casual consumers won't know or care about, controllers that look like glorified cell phones when there's a massive market already built into the casual consumer's phones, host starter games of Modernize Earthworm Jim / Echo the Dolphin, which they didn't even show gameplay of. Depending on the price point, this might work, and it's definitely better than Mythical Games going on about their Bitcoin mining Toys to Life game for 30 minutes, but I'm not sure if E3 is even the right place to market this. Jin Kazuya looks like he's the most traditional fighting game rep in Smash, which, to be honest, does nothing good or bad for me. Either way, it also means we're at the end of the Smash Ultimate DLC hype train, so let's put that to bed and see what things Nintendo has for us.
A beloved series rolls.
Oh, they're actually gonna do an anniversary, so, oh. So is this Donkey Kong? That's not what I expected. Monkey Ball's coming back. So, wait, what does that mean? So are they porting the Monkey Ball games to Switch? Is that the plan? It's disappointing that the whole Donkey Kong rumor didn't come out at E3, but Monkey Ball is back, and that is good news. The only thing I have to add about these Mario Party ports is that it's another death knell in the hope that we'll ever get that N64 and GameCube online. The clear indication is that Nintendo has every intention of burying what they don't care about and remastering what they do.
In the Metroid franchise.
Gosh, the 2D Metroid is real.
Take a look.
At least as long as it's not Federation Force 2. That's a new outfit. Metroid 5 is actually happening. Why is it first person? Oh, it's not actual footage. New slick look, man. Oh, snap! Metroid Dread is real. They're capitalizing on that fusion, or not fusion, returns mechanicals. Ooh, slide. That's actually a really good addition to the flow state. Makes me wonder what the purpose of the Morph Ball is going to be at that point. 10/8/2021. They're just knocking it out of the park. This gameplay is just not selling it for me. You need more nuance and versatility than the ability to wail on your opponent ad nauseum if you pick the right type effectiveness. If you want me to care about an SMT game about Persona's high school sim. That said, it's nice that it's finally here, and I'm happy for fans who have been waiting years for this to come out. I have zero interest in the Danganronpa franchise, but respect when these collections put in extra effort to expand a minigame as opposed to, you know, not doing anything at all. It is radically disappointing that this is all that they're doing for Zelda's anniversary. But I would like to remind people that this doesn't mean a Zelda maker, a 2D Zelda, or even ports of the Wii U game are never going to happen in the Switch's lifespan. It's just not going to happen this year. And either way, a Game & Watch with 2 full NES games and a Game Boy game you can't even get on the Switch is a pretty solid anniversary item when you consider Donkey Kong and the Mother franchise ain't got squat. Gotta admit though, that Breath of the Wild footage was pretty underwhelming. A couple of shots of some newish enemy variants and this kind of cool rewind feature. Anything I'm not mentioning is probably not worth talking about and definitely not something I'm going to linger on. Now before I go, I've seen a lot of people complain that this E3 wasn't that great, even acknowledging the pandemic. And if the conferences I showed my reaction to are all of E3 that you watched, I could completely understand why you'd be disappointed with E3. There were some amazing reveals, but they were interspersed among some underwhelming announcements. Not to mention, Capcom and Bandai Namco didn't even really show up. The thing I feel like people who only watch the big conferences or focus on very specific IPs miss is all the crazy indie projects Summer Games Fest and even E3 proper had to offer. Seriously, take any combination of genre, setting, or aesthetic, and chances are there will be something for you to get excited about. Want to shoot mooks in the face by yourself? We've got Fallen Aces, Toy Soldiers, Far Cry, Interstellar Bark, Rebellion, Death Run, Shadow Warrior 3, Escape from Tarkov, Moolander, Demon Throttle, Lemnis Gate, Warcry, Severed Steel, Project Warlock, and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Or perhaps you want to test your mettle against other humans both cooperatively and solo. Rainbow Six Extraction, Anacrusis, Larcenauts, Battlefield, Back 4 Blood, Killing Floor 2, Halo, and The Evil Dead. Alternatively, maybe you just want to interact with a compelling story while solving a few puzzles. Harold Halibut, Life is Strange True Colors, Road 96, Game Deck Crime Solving MMO, The Big Con, the Danganronpa Remasters, Norco, Beacon Pines, Citizen Sleeper, and 12 Minutes. Or perhaps you'd like to put your survival skills to the test. Stalker, Tunguska, Sheltered 2, Chernobolite, Winter Survival Sim, Wizard with No Gun, Pioneer, and Riftbreaker. Perhaps survival's a bit too extreme, and you're more interested in resource management and construction side of things. Cat Cafe Manager, To the Rescue, a Dog Shelter Simulator, New World, Garden Story, Starmancer, Rune Factory 5, Honey, I Joined a Cult, HKLO Life, Icarus, One Lone Outpost. I couldn't fit them all into neat traditional categories. Lakeburry Legacies, Toem, Life Slide, Tumble Time, Soup Pot, Unbeatable, Behind the Frame, Next Space Rebels, Get Packed, King of Seas, Lake, Kiwi, Iron Corbo, Kung Fu Janitor, Extra Galactica. Are you inexplicably fond of six-sided dice like me and have already played Dicey Dungeons? Here's a few more games to look up. Inscription, Dicey Legacy, Lost in Random. Maybe you want to spend your time hunting or playing as Children of the Night, Vampire Swan Song, Vampire Blood Hunt, Redfall. And the horror doesn't stop with the Bloodsuckers. House of Ashes, Atomic Heart, Plague Tale 2, and Happy Game. Maybe you're into casually participating in sports without, being athletic. Slaughter League, Shredders, Dodgeball Academia, Forza New Horizon 5, ES Boxing Club, Raw Thrills Inc., Ollie Ollie World, and Riders Republic. Perhaps you want to delve into some action with your friends, but your group is less into guns or traditional sports. Orcs Must Die 3, Phantom Abyss, Ramen, Gigabash, Chivalry 2, Party Animals, Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean expansion, WarioWare, Lumberhill, and Worms. I know that despite how oversaturated the genre is becoming, there are still plenty of people who still crave that Souls-like loop and world building. Solstice, Death's Door, Sultan Sanctuary 2, Sands of Aura, Elden Ring. Maybe you are tired of Souls-likes and would much prefer a good dungeon crawler or an action game that is at least out of the weighty Souls-like wheelhouse. Well, there is plenty to look forward there too. Scars Above, Dreamscaper, Mecha Jammer, Arborea, Death Trash, Avacord, Guardians of the Galaxy, Tales of Arise, Endless Dungeon, Gatewalkers, War Tales, Batora Lost Heaven, Red Solstice 2, Uden, The Ascent, Tribes of Midgard, Lost Ark, and Final Fantasy Origins. In the jumpy, collecty category, things are a little more sparse, but there's a few great-looking games. Psychonauts 2, Silt, Lekhead, Somerville, Super Magbot, Planet of Lana, Fly, Far Changing Tide, Vocabulantis, Minute of Islands, Replaced, A Tale of Paper, Neko Ghost Jump. Likewise, Metroidvanias and action-adventure games were a little sparse, but what was there looked amazing. Metroid Dread, They Always Run, Axiom Verge 2, Tunic, Gestalt, Solar Ash, and Greek. Maybe all this manually doing things is too direct and singularly focused for you. You'd much prefer a management game on a grand scale. Age of Empires 4, Fire Commander, Two Point Campus, Terra Invicta, Humankind, Timberborn, Airborne. Maybe you like group management, but you'd still like to be down in the thick of things with all sorts of cute critters. Kena Bridge of Spirits, Tinykin, Slime Rancher 2, Song of Everfree, and Koromon. Then there's RPGs, and sure, the quantity might have been lacking, but really, these are some of the hypest reveals of E3, IMO. Metal Slug Tactics, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Dear Villagers, SMT 5, Song of Conquest, Advanced Wars Remaster, Sacrifier, Euden, Dark Deity, and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Lastly, I want to re-emphasize, over the course of E3, we went from Jeff Goldblum announcing a dinosaur theme park management game to 2 separate survival shooters set on a jungle island inhabited by dinosaurs in Stishin and Project Ferocious Island, and finally, a farming sim set in a village that rests on the back of a giant dinosaur, Wandering Village. If you can't find anything you like in all those games that you've never heard of, or at the very least are interested in the new footage for what you have heard of, then I'm sorry, you're a sourpuss looking for something to complain about.